I'm not trying to copyright anybody. All I want to do is look at some film real quick and say what's up, talk about a couple things, and yeah, I'm trying to keep things going with the YouTube and you know, continuing to look for remote jobs and different things. I'll be going to Brazil for a little bit to play football. Still a U.S. resident, of course. Just going there to play a little football. Shout out to my teammates with the McKay Oilers. So that's cool. I'm excited. Grateful opportunity. You gotta get in front of people, man. And when your face is clean, and when you just try to do the right thing, man, opportunities will find you. Because unfortunately, a lot of people will mess up because their face isn't clean, and it doesn't mean I'm perfect, but I really try to do the right thing, and at the same time, I do have autonomy. I have my own brand, I'm doing a lot of positive things in the community, and if you like Dave Chappelle, Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa, Muhammad Ali, you'll like me, and the more my brand grows, it seems like most people are supportive, but there's a small group of people who they feel like they have to harness it and control it, and then I just ignore them because at the end of the day, you can see talent without trying to make it smaller, and I'm not going for that. I come from the projects, first couple years of my life, and there's no way I'm going to allow myself to you know to be going and being made smaller. It's not going to happen. So many have tried, all have failed. So, but anyway, when it comes down to it, it's important to just be yourself. And I was actually writing on LinkedIn, and it talked about how people lie during interviews, and I'm like, well, how the hell are you supposed to build trust if you can't be honest? And we all have reasons that we lie sometimes, but it's like, to be able to build trust, you just can't keep lying, and like in interviews or whatever, it just destroys the trust. And I think the most important thing is just to acknowledge the fear and figure out what you're scared of. When before I started having a brand, I was like, okay, well, I'm working for companies and I'm doing well, and I don't have bad work performance, but for some reason, I seem to just piss people off just by growing, or they saw I had a life outside of work and they didn't, and they had kids or whatever. And I was like, I don't want to be in that environment anymore. I don't want to be in an environment where people treat me like I'm doing something wrong just because I'm growing, just because I have a fun life, and I try to have a fun life. I don't want to be a part of that. So if you ever feel like you shine and people are trying to make your shine smaller, I know I'm used to that. But you don't have to make your shine smaller. You're supposed to shine, shine, shine like the lights back here. You're supposed to shine, and that's important. I'm watching film, so that's what I'm doing here. So yeah, so if you ever feel like that, it's not you, it's them. I've studied narcissism for over 10 years, and yeah, I mean that's just the deal. It's not your problem. Some of y'all may feel confused sometimes about what goes on, but you shouldn't be confused. You should understand that some people, that's all they have is work, and so when somebody comes in and has more things they're doing, they're working on their passion projects, they're trying to they're taking a risk, they're taking a calculated risk. Some people have anxiety about being on social media. I do sometimes, but I know, like, I'm getting a lot more support than not by doing it, and it's working, so why not? So that's why I jump on YouTube and kind of do stuff like that. So this gets blocked because of the music, but I'm trying to cover up the mic. But yeah, a lot of people from Italy, from Netherlands, UAE, America, Brazil's looking forward to meeting me. They're looking forward for me to come down there and play football. And over the past year, I've been kind of just rebuilding my life and everything. And I think that the beautiful thing about rebuilding is just you ready for a new chapter. And I think that even in the States, where I'm very I put a lot of constructive criticism towards America because I'm a U.S. citizen and I should. That's my right. I know it does a lot right, but there's a lot of trends going the wrong way. So I really try to bring it to the forefront and let people know, hey, like, this is what's going on as a scientist. So it's nothing personal. As a scientist, you gotta give people the data and they can make their own choices. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I've always done. That's what my professors say I should do. That's what I'm gonna do. And liking it or not doesn't matter. My brand is my brand. I've been doing it before anybody had an opinion about my brand back in 2009. So this ain't overnight. If you scroll through my page, you'll see a lot of old videos. So, and it's funny to be in Toronto right now because Toronto was actually one of the first places I went out of the country. Actually, that's where I went. I went to Toronto, first place. So, yep, it's cool to be back here. Come back to the States for a little bit and then, make some money and then do that. So, but yeah, I just wanted to jump on here for a little bit and, talk a little bit about that and, look through the channel. Look through the channel. I'm trying to think of anything else as I'm watching kind of film. You got to watch film. You got to watch film. You have to see what the defense is going to do to you and, you know, um, it's going to help you to not overthink when you're in the game, And I'm learning. I'm trying to learn Portuguese. It's gonna take some time, but I know a decent amount of Spanish. Mucho gusto. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Y bien? ¿Y tú? You know what I mean? Let me see. ¿Te gusta bailar? ¿Te gusta beber? Right? So for all my Spanish people out there, I'm part Puerto Rican if you don't know. Um, and yeah, I mean, like I said before, typically I go live on YouTube because like I said, it's a platform where eventually you can become monetized. You're not going to become monetized on Facebook, so I'd rather just do that on here and just throw it on Facebook and then do it like that. That's just a smart way to do it. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I got to say. I'm just testing because I want to see if this video gets blocked if I go live with the music in the background. Plus, this is a good spot for me to kind of get some stuff done. Yeah, this bit message is held for review. Okay, I'm not sure what this is, but whatever. But anyway, so yeah, yeah, night. Yeah, somebody said night. Okay, no problem. A lot of stuff gets held for review. I'm not sure why it gets held for review. He's just saying night. No worries. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much about it. And I'll be. I'm excited to look for. I'm looking forward to Brazil. I've never been to Brazil. The opportunity came to me on the 2nd of June when I was in Prague, and so be a former teammate that I played football with in the UAE, which is nice. And I'm still grateful to be playing American football. American football saved my life. I'm gonna be honest, like it saved my life. Sports saved my life. Coming from tough environment, I think a lot of people they see me and they don't believe that I come from the projects, but I do. If you look through my YouTube, you'll see how my projects is torn down, and maybe you come from a place where it may not be the projects, but you don't really have much money or whatever. I get it. I get it. My brand will never be a bougie brand. You know what I mean? Like, it'll never be that. It'll be something that is focused on African American men, but anybody can be a part of it. It's a human brand. It's a genuine brand. It's an authentic brand, and I welcome everyone in, and it's a confidence brand. I want people to feel comfortable in their own skin because I'm comfortable in my own skin, and I think that's part of the reason why some people get their feathers ruffled. They can't really sway me one way or another, So they just try to do it, but I'm just comfortable in my skin, That doesn't mean I don't have imperfections or insecurities. It just means that like when you have a good conscience, you don't really don't, what I mean? You don't really overthink it. So, and I've noticed over time, as my brand grows, people will project. They project their emotions. Maybe they have hidden expectations for me, and I don't know about them. And it's like, well, where'd that come from? Like, it can't be me. I've actually heard some people tell me I wasn't consistent, but I'm like, I have a brand. Like, how am I not consistent? I've been working on this since 2009 before a lot of people met me. But it's actually the opposite. They're not consistent. They don't have a brand. Not that they have to have a brand, but I'm just saying like they're not consistent. So if somebody tells you something about themselves, don't take it personally. And it doesn't fit. Don't take it personally. It's with how they feel about themselves. And not that that person's a narcissist, but typically narcissists they do that. They'll say, "Oh, you can't play football," and I'm like, "Are you playing football?" No. Well, there you go. Case in point. So I do have a couple of brand athletes under my brand, and one potentially from Italy, one from Brazil, and then another potential one in the making. So nonetheless, I'm doing a lot of different more things than people think. Stop pocket watching. Don't pocket watch. There's no point in doing that. Money's a tool, but other than that, I'm not. No, no, don't do that. And I like the song, by the way. But anyway, just just keep going. Do what you need to do. Have a passion project, and it's important to have a passion project. But I'm gonna tell you right now, people, the way things are going now. And I had a podcast that talked about AI. Not that AI is bad, but you have to also understand that it's cool to have different jobs and everything. And honestly, I want to make money anywhere I go around the world. That's one of my things for my brand. But realize that you're not gonna work at a job for a 50 something year, or well, what's 18 till 65? That's the retirement age in America. So let's say 50, 47 years. So you're not going to be in the job market for 47 years. There's going to be stuff that happens. There's going to be COVID. There's going to be something else that happens, right? So you have to have a passion project. And I talk to CEOs around the world. I'm going to tell you right now, having multiple skills is what they like. I'm an aspiring CEO. I'm a CEO of my brand, right? So I like people who are multi-talented, who have a lot of different skills. And so when you go to a company, if they make you feel like you don't, like there's something wrong with you for having different skills, you need to find a new company, because the CEOs I speak to all over the world, they love that. They love people that are talented. They literally ask you like, what other things can you do in interviews and stuff all the time. So that's why actually when I was high school, I won Mr. Best all around for that reason. Because I wanted to stay out. My parents wanted to keep me out of the streets as much as possible, keep me in every single thing, and I'm grateful they did that. And so, of course, sometimes we had gang members on our team and stuff. That's normal. That's normal, kind of thing where I grew up. But at the same time, they were good people. And like the Richard Sherman story, they were like, oh, just make sure you stay in school. Don't be dumb. Don't be, you know what I mean? And I appreciate being a beacon for my city of Durham, North Carolina, and for other people that I've been a part of their organizations. And but ultimately, I got to choose the path for my life, and I think that's important. You need to grab the life by grab the life by your horn, grab the life by the horns, and show people in the world what you stand for, not what other people stand for. Don't let nobody infiltrate what you trying to do. No, this is a boundary. My body is a boundary, right? You need to know what you're doing, what direction you're going. If you don't, then somebody's going to take that and try to make it theirs. There's a saying that says you better go after your dream before somebody make your dream theirs. So know what your directions are, know your plan, build your social network, treat people right, and then just go from there. And if you make a mistake, then things happen. So what's good? What's good, y'all? And I'm just gonna keep it real with you. Like, I'm gonna look at the comments and I'm gonna address them as I can. But this is a class. This is a class session. It's not gonna be validation, validation, validation. Look at me. Right. So if you think that this page is gonna be that, you should just go on and leave. But I will say hello if you say hey. No problem. So just remember, that's how we do things over here. So other than that, I appreciate you tuning in for sure. What's good, Kingston? What's up, Sad Plays? He said night, and check out the rest of the channel, the playlist. Check out the brand brain tees, and make sure you get your passports if you don't. Kingston, where you from? Where you from? Saad, I don't know where you're from. Where you from? Tell me what country you from. If you want to tell me, I'll give you a second to respond as I'm watching film. I got a slight cold, sorry. Okay, I think they left, but it's okay. Maybe they'll comment later. But anyway, yeah. I hope y'all doing well, and yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here. Take care. Let the brand. Deuces.